Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. I have something pretty exciting to talk about today regarding Hasbro's new edition of HeroQuest. As we all know, last year they teased the front cover of the Frozen Horror, the Barbarian Quest expansion pack. This was pretty big news, not just because it meant Hasbro had clear intentions of continuing to support their new edition, but also because the original version of this expansion from back in the day was never available in Europe at all. Well, recently a number of online stores have started putting up holding pages for the Frozen Horror, complete with product details and photographs, and now we can see exactly what the expansion will contain, what the new miniatures will look like, whether or not it will contain the female barbarian from the crowdfunding campaign, and maybe even get an idea on cost. Happy days. First things first though, let's read the back of the box. The Frozen Horror has burst forth from the icy tomb where it rested these last centuries, recovering its strength and awaiting Zargon's summons. At last, that call has come and the raging beast has returned to its ancient seat of power deep within Ice Mountain. As we speak, it is rallying its minions and mobilizing its plans to cover the Northlands and the realm in a shroud of deadly ice. Barbarian, you must call on courage and skill you did not realize you had to confront the evil of the Frozen Horror. Barbarian, prove your prowess and save the Northlands. In this chilling expansion to the HeroQuest adventure, you must journey through the bleak and frigid Northlands to destroy the evil Frozen Horror, a ferocious creature long banished. As the powerful Barbarian, you are the first challenge to survive dangerous solo quests to prove your strength and valor. Only then will your fellow heroes join you to gain access to Ice Mountain, to destroy the Scepter of Glacial Majesty and defeat the terrible monster. So far, so familiar. I think from that blurb it's fair to say we are looking at pretty much a straight port of the original version of the expansion, which included a series of solo quests followed by a series of linked missions for a full party of heroes. And it should be noted, solo quest here doesn't mean the missions were designed to be played without a Zargon player. It meant they were designed for a single hero, the Barbarian, against the Zargon player. Of course, we have an app for the new edition of HeroQuest, which does allow for a true solo experience, but it's certainly worth clarifying that none of the missions in the original version of this expansion were intended to be played without Zargon at all, and I don't imagine the new edition is any different. But moving on, we have a complete contents list on the back of the box too. This expansion includes a quest book with 10 quests, 21 miniatures including the Frozen Horror, a Barbarian hero, 12 mercenaries, 3 ice gremlins, 2 polar warbears and 2 yetis. There are also 2 dungeon doors with an icy theme, 35 game cards, 3 sheets of tiles and tokens, 6 combat dice, 2 movement dice and a pad of character sheets. Let's talk about those miniatures for a second. First of all, the Barbarian miniature is not the same one that was a backer reward during the HeroQuest crowdfunding campaign. This is a new miniature, styled in a similar manner to the female Barbarian from the original Frozen Horror expansion pack. She has the same sword and shield weapon loadout and a similar stance. This is pretty good because it means that backers still get to enjoy having a unique female Barbarian miniature as a reward for stumping up the cash well in advance of the game's release, but everybody else still gets a female Barbarian character as well. I think that's a good move. Next, you're getting more miniatures in this expansion than you got in the original. This is because the original only included 6 mercenaries. The mercenaries had changeable weapons, and the set included 3 halberds, 3 crossbows, 3 double-handed swords, and 3 swords with shields. The new miniatures don't have interchangeable weapons, and as a result Hasbro had to include 3 of each of the different miniatures. With the 4 different weapon options, that means you are getting 12 mercenaries total instead of 6, which accounts for why the original version of the expansion came with 15 miniatures, while this new version comes with 21. Other than that, you're getting the same selection of miniatures that shipped with the original. The gremlins look fun, I'm not really sold on the yetis, but the polar warbears look amazing. They don't look huge, possibly no larger than the abominations from the core set, but the Frozen Horror itself is huge. It looks like it's going to cover 4 spaces on the game board, rather than the original version that only covered 2. It looks suitably imposing. Also, this new edition of the expansion has nice plastic doors, similar to the plastic doors from Keller's Keep and Return of the Witchlord, which is an upgrade from the cardboard doors of the original. What else is there to say? Ah yes, the token sheets. They look comparable to the originals, except without the cardboard door standees of course. The floor overlays look really good and will help to give the HeroQuest board an icy theme. I think the most interesting thing though is the addition of a new character pad, which appears to be no different to the pad from the core set and is perhaps just a way to keep players stocked up, and the new dice. As far as I'm aware, there were no dice in the Frozen Horror before, and these new dice look like they are just rethemed versions of the dice from the core set. So the new combat dice have the same symbols as the original combat dice, but they are in an icy blue colour, and the movement dice are just regular D6 but in dark blue rather than red. This is a pretty cool addition to the set, pun intended. More combat dice are always useful, and to go the extra mile to theme them, if only by colour, is a nice little touch. Oh, and the original version of Frozen Horror only shipped with 30 cards, while this version ships with 35. I suspect the extra cards are a character card for the Barbarian and extra equipment cards. And there we have it. That's what you're getting for your money. But how much money exactly? Well, the price seems to be all over the place at the moment, and I can't find any two websites that match. I've seen a European site with the price listed at €35 and a Swedish site with the price at 499 krona. 499 krona is around £40, and that Swedish site is listing Keller's Keep and Return of the Witch Lord at 399 krona, which is around £32. In the UK, those expansions retail for £25. Taking all that into consideration, I think it's possible we will be looking at a price of £35 for Frozen Horror in the UK. That's a £10 price hike over the previous expansions, but Frozen Horror features all new miniatures rather than recycled miniatures from the core set, and a much bigger miniature in the form of the Horror. It also comes with more miniatures than the previous expansions, and that's before you take into consideration the character pad, the extra dice, and a much larger deck of cards. As for the release date, looks like it will be the third quarter of 2022. Christmas might be coming early. But I think that's about it from me for now, so let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you've really enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.